Welcome to Arlington Public News. I'm Carla Dorado.
And I'm Paul Werlin. Thanks for joining us. In this edition of APN, citizens take action to fill empty storefronts. Police unions and Black Lives Matter supporters hold separate rallies on race relations.
The greatest gift of all is the love that lives inside of you.
And ice cream at 1 a.m.? You've got it, served right at your door. We have the new Arlington-based business delivering it in our newscast next.
Empty storefronts in Arlington aren't just bad for business, they're bad for the community. That's what a new group who wants to fill vacancies in the center believes. Members are urging the town and property owners to fill the properties and decry the closure of businesses like the Madrona Tree Restaurant and CVS. APN's Christina Gesford has more in this week's Snapshot. Christina, what can you tell us about this citizens group? What can they actually do to help fill the vacancies?
Well, Paul, the Support Arlington Center group formed just a few months ago and have 1,200 Facebook supporters and a website filled with information on businesses in the center. Currently, there are 17 vacancies. The group took a survey where people expressed concern over the empty storefronts and wondered why retailers are leaving. The group is meeting with town officials to find out what they can do to sway property owners to fill and keep businesses. We spoke with town manager Adam Chapdelaine about the options.
So what we've had our town council and his staff looking at is whether or not we can legally put in place a fine structure for property owners that have vacancies over the long term and cannot demonstrate a reasonableness standard that they've actually tried to get tenants. And the idea would be to put a financial disincentive in place that would make them want to get somebody in their actual storefront. So we don't have a proposal yet. What Town Council's office has done so far is research what has been done in other states and municipalities, put together sort of a potential structure, and now we're going to work with that before we put a proposal forward, hopefully within the next month sometime.
We'll have results of the private meeting and an interview with Support Arlington Center folks in our next newscast and online at news.acmi.tv. An update now to a story on efforts to save some trees from the axe. After a lengthy deliberation process, the Conservation Commission voted to forge ahead on Magnolia Park's renovation plans, requiring the town to cut down 2 Dawn redwood trees. Renovations on the park were set to begin in June, but community opposition towards removing the trees halted community garden expansion plans. The activist group Save Arlington Redwoods created an online petition protesting the renovation that garnered over 500 signatures. It wasn't enough to sway the Conservation Commission's vote, however, and the trees will be cut down. The commission did vow to develop a tree replacement plan. That's this week's Snapshot. Back to you, Carla.
Arlington Heights is also experiencing some vacant storefronts. Residents in that area came together to talk about what types of businesses they'd like to see in the block that runs along Mass Avenue near Park Avenue. APN's Shah Sajadi has more.
We're at the Dallin Elementary School for the Arlington Heights Business District Planning Public Forum, where concerned citizens and business owners have come together to discuss ideas on how to improve the Heights. A group of Arlington Heights residents founded the Support Arlington Heights Facebook page in April with the intention of beautifying and revitalizing the Heights. They met with the town officials several times and conducted surveys to determine the most and least popular businesses for the future of the Heights.
What don't you want to see? We want to see less of in the Heights. And so, to no surprise, pizza places top the list there, followed closely by nail salons and banks. But what this says to me is that the consumers are looking for more variety. What businesses do we want to bring to the Heights? And overwhelmingly, again, those top 3 came up quite a bit: a pub, an independent coffee shop, and a restaurant like Panera. Much to what we've heard from some of the comments so far, what we're lacking is a place to gather.
We did a lot of the quick, easy fixes. We met with the town officials, and we wanted to have some real actions. Support Arlington Heights got a bid out with the department, the DPW, to have the light poles, the traffic signals, and the clock tower that's currently at the Park Ave Mass painted. So that will look infinitely better than what we have.
Limitations in the town's budget pose a challenge to make all the changes mentioned, but town manager Adam Chapdelaine says it is still possible to beautify the Heights with strategic decisions.
With maybe a year or so's planning in terms of our capital budget, we could make a strategic investment in street furniture.
in terms of making the aesthetic of the business district look better. And then finally, we want to play the role of facilitator and collaborator, and we're happy to have partnerships with citizen groups, like the group that we're here with tonight. We're happy to have partnerships with the merchants groups, like we already have and we want to continue to foster.
I think you need to scale up some of the stores. If it looked more like Arlington Center, I'd be more likely to come.
Well, it has a small town feel to it, and I always liked it. I'm kind of sad that the Tweet Tweet toy shop closed, although I never bought anything there. I kind of like the look of the place.
Support Arlington Heights emphasizes that the effort to improve the Heights is not a battle, but a collaboration.
There are businesses that you want to stay in the Heights. We need to support them. And we need to support them not only with our foot traffic, but also on social media, on Facebook, on Yelp. I think I heard a lot of folks bemoan Panera's leaving and Firefly Moon's leaving, and then it was too late. They were gone. Come to the cleanups. We need volunteers in terms of gardening, decorating, and public art projects. We also want to have volunteers who have knowledge about, land lease laws and all those kind of things to engage with the property owners.
Yeah, I definitely want to be more involved in the Heights, what they're doing here. I'm going to come to every meeting that they have and give my input and see what I can do to help.
So what's next for the Heights?
So the next step is to do sort of a little more analysis of the existing conditions, and that includes the economic conditions that are going on here in the Heights, and that means updating some of the past studies, which are pretty dated at this point, and then to also get people out there into the community and showing us things that they really appreciate or enjoy, or things that are concerning them.
Over 100 Arlington residents and business owners were present at this meeting, and a lot of ideas were discussed. The next meeting is scheduled for the fall. I'm Shah Sajadi, Arlington Public News.
Tragic events involving police killing and being killed have loomed large this summer. Recently, ACMi hosted a panel discussion as part of its series Global to Local. We invited Arlington Police Chief Fred Ryan and several members of the community to talk about tough issues of racism, fear, and violence. The conversation was respectful but frank, and we bring you the following excerpts.
One of the frustrations we've had in law enforcement, and I've been clear and on the record about bias-based policing, so we don't need to revisit that. You know where I stand on that. But one of our frustrations is, in some of these incidents, did those police officers leave their house that night when they went to work with premeditation and a forethought to go out and commit a homicide? I would argue they didn't. And, are these cases of malpractice versus felony criminal intentional homicide?
Of course, but I would say even with a shooting, whether it's premeditated or not, it still happened, and people have to still be held accountable for that. How we adjudicate that is another issue.
That's where I kind of got the idea that if any kind of change has to happen, it has to start with talking to someone as a human being and not screaming at them. Although I understand that anger and it's absolutely justified.
Assumption that the black person is bad or sinister or evil, and that's part of the fabric of our society that's racist and perceive black humanity as something that's not to be equated as the same as white humanity.
We bring police officers to the police force with their biases. And so then we need to be a little bit more sophisticated about helping them understand their biases and managing those biases when they come to work. I have no control over the race of the people that I hire in the police department. And that's completely controlled and is a function of state law. We have a stated goal. I have a 10-point command philosophy. One of my highest priorities is a diverse police department.
It absolutely has to go back to police officers in specific neighborhoods, talking to those kids, going to the schools, talking to the parents that we know who they are. So now I can talk to my parents, oh yeah, I emailed with Chief Ryan today. He has a name, he's a human being, as opposed to this big scary entity with a gun who could do whatever they want and get away with it.
In light of the national dialogue on police and race relations, APN set out to hear from others in the area. In nearby Somerville, Mayor Michael Curtoni's refusal to remove a Black Lives Matter banner from City Hall recently sparked simultaneous demonstrations in that city. Police gathered in front of City Hall to protest the displaying of the banner, while at the same time, BLM sympathizers gathered in Union Square to voice their support for the mayor's decision. APN's Zach Merchant has more.
I'm standing outside the Somerville City Hall where another protest has broken out in connection to the Black Lives Matter movement. This time, though, it's not the Black Lives Matter activists, it's the police officers. Angered by a Black Lives Matter banner hung outside City Hall, the Massachusetts Municipal Police Coalition and the Somerville Police Employee Association have joined forces to pen an open letter to Somerville Mayor Joseph Curtatone urging him to take the banner down. Mayor Curtatone declined, saying he will not do so. Unoppressed, the unions have gathered here today to express their discontent.
We do not oppose the nucleus of the Black Lives Matter movement or some of its ideology. In fact, our core values are similar. Equality for everyone regardless of race. Because some elements identified with the Black Lives Matter movement have resorted to killing innocent police officers and putting the lives of citizens in jeopardy, the Massachusetts Municipal Police Coalition cannot stand for the continued display of that organization's banner on a public building. Mayor Curtatone has said that he wants dialogue. The letter was intended to start dialogue, but his immediate response was, the banner is staying. Under no circumstances will that banner come down. We condemn the indiscriminate slaying of police officers, just as we condemn racism, the use of excessive force, or citizen abuse by police officers. Nevertheless, we will continue to oppose the display of the exclusionary Black Lives Matter banner at City Hall for the reasons articulated in my letter to the mayor.
Of note, a high-ranking member of the Somerville Police Department commented that the vast majority of the department's officers are not members of the protesting police unions. Many of the officers demonstrating at City Hall were non-local and brought in from the surrounding area. When asked whether the union's actions would hurt the Somerville PD's ability to engage in community policing, the source said yes. In response to the police union's protest at Somerville City Hall, Black Lives Matter Cambridge has organized a counter-protest here in Union Square. Their mission is to educate and inform the public that not recognizing that Black Lives Matter contributes to the, quote, systematic and institutionalized erasure, end quote, of black people.
How is it that people who feel that urge to commemorate and to mourn and to celebrate can be asking us to take down a banner that says Black Lives Matter? It's the same message.
The struggle has been going on since my birth. The struggle will be going on when you have your child, and the struggle will continue to go on until everybody finds love. The greatest gift of all is the love that lives inside of you. To love is to life. Because you are standing here today, I know you feel my love, because I feel yours. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have it. That's the difference between what the police officers are thinking right now and what I've lived. To me, all my life, all lives have mattered. They're trying to catch up, prove it.
We're all united. God made us, so we all matter in everything that we do. But Black lives are suffering so much. So we want to say it and prove it. All lives matter, just prove it. So just stop the war, stop the violence and everything, put down your weapons and give each other hugs and understanding of each other. So when we have peace and love and understanding, we'll be a better community.
In a city so well known for its community policing efforts, one has to wonder whether these two polar extremes will affect the way the Somerville Police Department engages with the community it serves. Only time will tell. For Arlington Public News, I'm Zach Merchant.
You know, Carla, this is really an issue that's very important. Obviously, has been in the news a lot lately, and I have to say I applaud the officials in Arlington for engaging in dialogue about it.
Yeah, I think our political climate really is bringing a lot of this to a head, and I think many more dialogues may be in order before we can really end this. Yeah. You may watch the entire conversation of our global to local policing in our community at ACMi.tv on demand, or check the channel guide for runtimes on your local public cable channel. Up next, going to the Nationals after a controversy that initially disqualified them from running, the 14-year-old's Arlington Cal Ripken team will compete in the World Series.
And a hockey player tries out track and ends up beating out more experienced runners in a national competition. That and more up next.
Well, Scott, we started the scoring a 1-yard TD run by Matt Woods of the Wildcats. Woods really did it all tonight. 2-point conversion made it 8-0. Then we saw a 50-yard strike from Smith to Roberts to make it 14-0 at the half. Then we stayed until we saw a beautiful pass from Tom Houston to Clark Ewan. That made it.
Welcome back to Arlington Public News. Arlington's Cal Ripken League baseball team has a chance to win the World Series champion title. ACMi sportscaster Matt Cooney has more.
Hi, this is Matt Cooney with your ACMi Sports Update. Quick news for you, the 14 and under Cal Ripken League baseball team here in Arlington has advanced to the World Series, which will be held in Westfield. Their first game begins tomorrow, August 17th, again at a brand new stadium in Westfield. The seeds are not out yet, nor are the brackets. However, we do wish them the best of luck competing against the top 12 teams in the nation. Again, this is your Sports Update, ACMi Sports Update with Matt Cooney. Thanks.
As a freshman at Arlington High School, Ryan Osting was new to the cross-country scene. With a steady mind for his new sport, he made it to New Balance Nationals, finishing in 4th place in the freshman 2-mile competition. APN Zach Merchant met with Osting to learn more.
I'm standing at the Arlington High School track where I am soon to be joined by Ryan Osting. He's just wrapped up a phenomenal season on the cross-country and track teams. Up until this year, he had never run, but this fall he joined the cross-country team and his season took off. By the end, he made it all the way to the national competition at New Balance Nationals. Because you started out as a JV runner in the fall and worked your way all the way up to the number 9 spot on the team, right? In the cross-country season. How did you do that? How did you manage to do that in such a short time?
I was running on JV for a while, and I worked my way up to the top, and then one race, Coach Richardson, he put me at the 10 spot in a varsity race against Reading, and it's a hilly course. I got to the hill and I was just like blowing by people, and it was ridiculous.
Talk to me about the journey to getting to New Balance Nationals. You know, when did you find out you were going to make it?
I qualified for outdoor track with my indoor time because the qualification was 9:55 for the 2-mile. So for indoor track, I had already qualified, and I went to outdoor track, and I was like, I really want to beat that. And I didn't know how much faster I could go, and then I went to the Middlesex League meet, and I ran 9:58, I think. And I was like, well, maybe I can't go under, but I was wrong. And at the Division II championships for the state, I ran 9:39, and that was my huge race. It was in North Carolina. It was in Greensboro, North Carolina. I actually ran at the track the day that we got there. Got a feel for the track. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And I was just like taking it all in.
At some point, did you look around and think to yourself, wow, this is uncharted territory. Maybe I do have a little bit of butterflies going on here.
Oh yeah, I was definitely pretty scared.
Yeah.
Maybe not scared, but like nervous. I had decided to myself that I wasn't gonna look at all these guys. It's just gonna stress me out. Because when they sent out the start lists for the race, I was like, I can either look at them and like think about them, or I can just not look at them and just race. And that was good because just numbers, thinking about numbers while you're running, nobody can do it.
You finished 4th in the freshman 2-mile. You crossed the finish line. You've gone 2 miles in a ridiculously fast time. What's going through your head when you cross that finish line?
I was a little bit discouraged because I thought I could have done a little bit better. And there was a guy that I wished I could have beat, but then I realized that it was really hot and humid, and it was hard to run. It was really hard running conditions, and then I kind of just like parted with those feelings. And
what message do you have to kids or athletes of any age who want to start something new, try something just totally outside the box for them?
Well, it's hard to do something new. If you're trying something new, I think you really just have to persevere, and if you really don't like it after a while, then like it's all right if you don't want to continue doing it, but you kind of have to give it a shot, like a fair shot. Because if you quit after one day, it's like, it's not fair to the sport, really.
Well, I'd say you gave it more than a fair shot, and it definitely paid off.
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks.
We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, what is in store for Arlington High School track and cross country in the future is yet to be seen. But one thing is for certain, with Ryan and other runners like him, the future is bright. For Arlington Public News, I'm Zach Merchant.
Well, congratulations to our Cal Ripken team. All's well that ends well for us.
And congratulations to Ryan Osting. He did a great job.
Absolutely.
Up next, a popular ice cream delivery truck for college students grows into a brick and mortar shop in Arlington.
Plus, cheerful where you sit. Patrons of fun display and sale of beautiful chairs find themselves sitting in many a fun chair, including a teddy bear. Stay with us.
Town Day is coming, Town Day is coming, Town Day is coming. Town Day is coming Saturday, September 17th. Meet your neighbors for the 40th annual town-wide block party featuring food, fun activities, shopping, and great main stage entertainment. And don't forget to come to Town Night the night before for the dog show and fireworks. It's free! To learn more, visit the town website at arlingtonma.gov/townday.
For the last 5 years, Arlington Public Arts has helped recycle many chairs that would otherwise go to landfills by giving them a makeover. Cheerful Where You Sit has become an Arlington tradition that brings local artists and families together in a fundraising event. APN Shah's Sajadi has the story.
I'm at the Cyrus Dallin Museum, where every year local artists repurpose old chairs and sell them to raise money for Arlington Public Arts.
I was really trying to think of how we could raise money in a very creative way that would involve artists, and so it came to me while I was walking my dog on the bike path that I could invite people to find orphan chairs. You know, orphan chairs, you see them all over the place in the trash, and there are chairs that people don't want anymore, but a lot of them are perfect and great condition, fine condition, or even just need a little bit of work. So I encourage people to find chairs like that and reinvent them with paint and whatever.
Artists submitting chairs have to register for the event in advance and pay a fee of $10. Each chair is then sold for $100, and the money raised funds murals and other public art projects around town. This year, Cheerful has 50 chairs, some of them submitted by artists as young as 3.
The Cheerful stance is that we would like, artists who are 16 and up, but if you're under, you work with another parent or friend or someone who's an adult. Children are extremely creative, and we see that, like if you see the bunny chair over there, that's done by Harper Pierce. The bear chair is done by a couple of 2 older girls, but they looked like they were in junior high.
Artists are free to decorate their chairs however they want. Some took a political stance, while others were inspired by their favorite drink.
I love coffee. I love the smell of coffee and things like that. So I just thought it would be good to do a coffee chair. These are some of the recipes of like some of the favorite coffees that I like as well. It hasn't been sold yet, and I am fine with that because I don't mind taking it home either because I love the chair.
Visitors can vote for their favorite chair, and at the end of the 3-day event, the 3 most popular chairs win the People's Choice Awards. This year, the winners were the bear chair, the plant chair, and the black bird. Unsold chairs are either returned to the artist or can be donated to APA.
But I actually have 4 chairs at home that I want to paint, so I'm sort of getting some ideas. So I may get my camera out and try to, take a picture of some of these and, recreate some of it at home.
It's really fun to see what people come up with. Every year there's always something kind of unique that you would never think of.
Lovely pieces, from some of the children's chairs to some that are just obviously works of art.
We just can't stop doing it. Every year people say, oh, are you going to do it next year? And so we always say, yes, we are. And so people seem to really enjoy it.
It's been a fun day here raising money for Arlington Public Arts. And remember, cheerful where you sit. I'm Shah Sajadi for Arlington Public News.
Well, we've all heard of pizza delivery, but how about ice cream delivery? Scoop and Scootery Ice Cream Shop just set up in Arlington, creating gourmet sundaes delivered right to your door. APN's Kayla Chiara has the scoop.
The Scoop and Scootery is not your traditional ice cream parlor. Although they offer multiple flavors and sundae options, they also offer a unique 2 a.m. delivery service. Let's go inside and check it out. Located in East Arlington, this innovative business challenges traditional ice cream service, all with the help of their food truck. The Scoop and Scootery has seen widespread success in neighboring towns such as Cambridge, Medford, and Somerville, but chose to open their first storefront here in Arlington. Their most faithful customers are students from local universities who demand late-night access.
I started in college and I did it kind of as a project. I had a lot of time on my hands and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I just kind of started like a glorified lemonade stand to waste time with my buddies, and it turned into something that people actually wanted and something that I enjoyed doing. I love being in Arlington, and the reception that we've had here is great. I would love to keep this location, maybe get another one closer to the city. There are some crazy folk outside the student body that are getting our Sundays, but after midnight, it's mostly students. We started getting a lot of orders in Harvard. Our first summer open was like our first months in business, and it was just mostly reserved to Tufts, but now Harvard is starting to pick up. It's really difficult for people to understand, especially from at first glance, why we have the hours that we keep. And it's because it's been working really well for us.
Although many take advantage of their late-night delivery hours, not everyone chooses to eat ice cream during the early hours of the morning. The store also has separate hours for walk-ins prior to the rush of midnight deliveries.
But we work incredibly hard. We care tremendously about the product that we're putting out. Each Sunday is inspected, and we do about 350 Sundays a day. We care so much about what we're doing here, and it means a lot to us that we're getting as much positive feedback as we have. There's nothing more gratifying that I've found in my life than building something of your own and watching it grow and getting a positive response out of it. But started this thing with absolutely no expectations, and it's been more work than I could have ever imagined, and I'm sure there's so much more work ahead of me, but I wouldn't change anything for anything.
If you haven't checked out the Scoop and Scootery, you are definitely missing out. I'm Kayla Chiara, here with Arlington Public News.
Carla, how about that? Ice cream delivered right to your door?
I have to say, I have fallen.
You've done it. You've done it, haven't you?
I have. I've done it 3 times. It's amazing. You're in your pajamas. You're in your bed. You're watching Netflix, and lo and behold, the doorbell rings, and there's your hot fudge sundae.
I think it's a great idea. I think I might have to partake of that myself.
I think you should. I think everybody should.
Have you enjoyed our newscast? How about being a part of it? If you're interested in community issues and events happening here in town, or thrive on following the latest story, we here at Arlington Public News would like you to join our team of volunteers. We're looking for news reporters and sports producers.
To learn how to tell stories about our community and to operate portable cameras, attend one of our workshops at the ACMi studio at 85 Park Ave on Wednesday, August 17th, or Tuesday, August 30th from 7 to 9. For sports production training, join us from 2 to 4 p.m. on Tuesday, August 16th at the Studio B located at 892 Mass Avenue, or contact us via the emails or phone on your screen. Thank you for joining Arlington Public News as we explore events and issues affecting Arlington. Check out extended interviews and our latest segments on the web at news.acmi.tv.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Arlington Public.
I'm Carla Dorado.
And I'm Paul Werlin. Thanks for joining us.